going forward, then, am I to believe that this fight with Deontay Wilder, the rematch, is it a done deal? Is it signed and sealed, or is it just some good faith? Odd thing to say about the boxing business, but is it good faith or done deal?
There's no good faith in the boxing business. Are you crazy? I mean, good faith left town a long time ago. No, this signed deal. Not only is it a signed deal for this fight, which would be the second fight between these, I think, the two best heavyweights in the world, but the winner of the fight for the third fight, which is already signed, gets 60% of everything, and the loser 40%. Right now, it's signed for this second fight. Each side gets 50-50.
So 50-50 for the second fight, 60-40 going into the third fight. Is the second fight, is it done in Las Vegas, or would you prefer it in Las Vegas?
You can find this interview here with Bunsey and Bob Arum. It was just done this week. This is Bob Arum lives in Las Vegas, so this is probably in his home or the Top Rank offices somewhere. Anyway, September 13th, 2019, tomorrow, Tyson Fury is going to be taking on Otto Wallin. And I got some timestamps here for you. And we've known for quite some time, and it's been now confirmed by all the major parties involved, that Wilder, if he beats Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury beat Otto Wallin tomorrow, the Wilder versus Ortiz fight is supposed to happen November the 23rd or something like that, but they got to hurry up and get it done because fans are like, yo, what the fuck? Wilder and Fury have signed a 2-fight deal with, as you heard, Bob Arum said, this rematch is supposed to happen February the 22nd in Vegas in the MGM Grand Garden Arena, not my goddamn foot, my ankle. Don't worry, my ankle's cool now. It's just that, whatever. Anyway, in the MGM Grand Garden Arena because there's a hockey game going on, something like that, in the T-Mobile Arena. They can't do it that day. But February 22nd, 2020, Wilder versus Fury 2. And then they're supposed to do in June the third fight where the winner would get 60% to 40, but the rematch is 50-50. So that brings a lot of things into question. It's like, well, wait a minute. If they can work together on this, then surely they will work together on Spence versus Crawford, or Crawford versus Spence, right? Bob Arum's been saying openly now that he's talked to Al Heyman, and if you notice, he's not even giving Al Heyman no shit no more. After the Crawford versus Khan fight, where him and Bob and Al Heyman talked or spoke just a couple of days later. Hey, let's listen to a little bit more timestamps. But Bob Arum is not pleased with Fury versus Wallin, and understandable. The shit is not selling. And Tyson Fury has been cringe, listen, I've been a Tyson Fury fan for years before you guys, listen, you don't know. Like, this is not new to me. Like, I've been knew he was like this. Like, I've been covering Tyson Fury since 2011. Like, when he used to have to go to them fucking streams and shit. Like, you don't know. Got some timestamps here for you.
Side was obligated to do yet one more fight with Wilder against Ortiz. They had signed the contract, so we had to punt the hopefully the Wilder Fury fight over to next February. But that being what it is, I'm not very pleased about this fight. As you said, many people don't know about Wallin, but he's a big Swede, and he has a good punch. So, listen, it's boxing. Anything can happen.
Because it's a dangerous fight in the sense Tyson's expected to win. We know he's expected to win. That's understandable. We're in the business because the big fight is next year. But those are the fights that ruin. Those are the fights that ruin plans.
Well, you call Eddie Hearn. I mean, he wanted a tomato can to fight Joshua, right? Who had big fights scheduled. So he picked a big fat tomato can. The Mexican kid, right? Andy Ruiz, who he didn't realize because Eddie knows nothing about boxing, had fast hands and was a courageous guy, could take.
Yeah, he threw shots, whether they were terms of endearment or not, at Andy Ruiz, and definitely always taking the shots at Eddie Hearn. But he says that they're predicting that Wilder versus Wilder versus Fury 2 can do 2 million pay-per-view buys? You think so? I mean, yeah, Wilder's profile has grown and Tyson Fury's got the ESPN machine behind him. Here, I'm going to let you guys listen in.
Possibly.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Britain, but you have to understand the problem. The big
Right now, he's talking about how, why, they don't want to put Wilder versus Fury 2 or 3 in the UK. So that's what he's explaining right now, and how pay-per-view buys are involved.
source of revenue comes from pay-per-view, right? And people are now talking about this next fight that comes up. Will do 2 million pay-per-view homes in the United States, paying.
I'm guessing he's talking about corporate executives or big wigs saying like, hey, this Wilder versus Fury 2 fight can do 2 billion pay-per-view buys. I'm guessing those are the people he's saying, because fans are not saying that shit. Remember, they have to meet like numbers as well.
View, right? And people are now talking about this next fight that comes up. Will do 2 million pay-per-view homes in the United States, paying into the promotion $40 over and above what the providers take. $40. So that's $80 million just from the pay-per-view. Plus there's closed circuit. Now, if you move it to England, the problem becomes the fight then goes on in the afternoon in the United States, and you can't do anywhere like that type of number on pay-per-view. If the fight is in the United States, it's on an odd hour, early in the morning, in the UK. But history has shown that if the fight is big enough, like Mayweather-Pacquiao, they'll get up and they'll watch it.
Yeah, basically, Wilder versus Fury 2, you guys would be up in the UK watching it. So, he does have a point, and the first fight was exciting enough to warrant that. But yeah, in this day and age, that model that they have, the revenue comes from, pay-per-view. But 2 million in this market, 2 million pay-per-view buys in this market, that means that there would be at least another 2 to 3 to 5 million streaming it for free. Like that, I don't think they get it. Like, streaming is getting easier and easier and easier. Like, that pay-per-view shit, like, people are able to watch like all it on their phones now, man. Like, that pay-per-view, like, it's dangerous. I understand, Bob is, up there in age and everything like that. Pay-per-view's still gonna be alive during his era. But pay-per-view ain't gonna be around in the way it is now in about 5 years or so. Now, I do like what ESPN Plus is doing. Like, where they cut out the middleman in regards to the cable and satellite companies. But nonetheless, don't you know, just like I'm doing this right here, I can illegally stream if I want to. I can say, hey, yeah, I want to illegally broadcast this on some link somewhere. I don't know how to do it, but I'm pretty sure it's easy to find out. On some VPN type shit, they don't get it. Like, they don't get it. It's easy. They gotta find, the zone is the future, but I think right now they're a little too in the future for what it's going to be. Like, this streaming shit is killing pay-per-view. Like, they gotta be creative with it, man. On TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. There you have it, February 22nd, 2020. Wilder versus Fury 2. If Wilder defeats Luis Ortiz in a rematch November the 23rd, likely on Showtime pay-per-view. Showtime needs that fight bad, but my understanding is Showtime and Fox are bidding on it from an interview I saw Steven Espinoza do with some company, media company. Anyway, Espinoza is the president of Showtime Sports, but they don't have the rights to the fight. And remember, the undercard's gotta be good because it's like you're putting that shit on pay-per-view, And I understand that the top guys are going to take a huge chunk of it, but also you have to, on TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. Please subscribe.